Welcome back to the Vintage Firearm series. In today's episode, we're going to be dealing with a Remington, the Remington Model 12. A couple of days ago, we had another Model 12. It was the Winchester Model 12, but of course, that was a shotgun. That shotgun was designed by John Moses Browning. This 22 and many other guns was designed by, some might call them rivals, but I don't think they really were in a true sense. This is John Pedersen, a remarkable designer on his own. If it hadn't have been for John Browning, he undoubtedly would have been considered the greatest gun designer, certainly of that period of time, if not in the entire history of firearms. He came out with so many great models, it was unbelievable. Right there on the wall, that's a Model 10. That would have come out in response to the Model 97, and before the Model 12, of course, brought out by Winchester. But today, let's get back to this gun. It's a very unique gun, but before we get right into it exactly, let me tell you how I first started hearing about it. I was into Winchesters, the Winchesters, the 1890, the 61, and so many others, and other variants along the way. And then people would constantly tell me, they said, well, yeah, those were all good, but you have to at least try the Model 12 or the 121, which was a later variant. And finally, I did. It was the 121 that I purchased first. And then later on, I was lucky enough to get this one. This isn't the earlier version of the same gun. This was made from 1909 to 1936. It's kind of cool. It's got the classic design here. If you look at this, that's all of these manufacturers used to do what the other ones did. Does this look like a John Browning design? I don't know if he was the one that came up with this or somebody else. But if you look at it, the screws are in the same places, everything. Yeah, it's all. I just absolutely love that buttstock and its design, whether it be on an 1890 or whatever it be on. This is a very comfortable gun to have in your hand. Now, this came out, as I mentioned, in 1909. Now, John Browning's variant, the 1890, would have come out in obviously 1890, and this one here obviously was available in 22 short, long rifle. Now, John Browning's design initially was not so inclined to be able to take all those. You had to be specific about what length you wanted. But actually in 1906, he came out with a variant of the 1890 that was less money, but also took all three sizes. So that was pretty interesting. I was going to bring that and have it here, but I didn't. So, but we're going to get into that one too, probably not too far away. So, John Browning was not competitive, leastwise not in a traditional sort of way with John Pedersen. He admired him. He openly admit he admired him, and he actually called him the greatest gun designer of all time. But he could be generous, couldn't he? Because he had so many successes under his belt. And John Pedersen was just a few steps away. He was always a few steps perhaps behind. He tried to get the Army contract and different things like that. But, but he was just not quite there. He was always beat out by John Moses Browning. Or some other situation, it just didn't work out. The timing, sometimes different things. But in any case, let's look over this gun, Model 12. I don't know. I should have looked it up. I don't have the exact year. We know that before the video is over, I'll give you an exact year if I can come up with it. I think I can. The sights in the front are adjustable. That's really nice. And I would say this gun has had a lot of use, but in looking at the stock, and it's not just dents that I'd be looking for, although it doesn't seem to have any real dents of any kind. It just hasn't been weathered or anything like that, but it's been used a lot. The whole thing looks like it's been well loved. Interesting, the safety is in the back, and to clear the first shot, that's in the front. So you push right up on a little lever there, so you can go ahead and chamber one. That's the safety's going to be on. I kind of like them in the front myself, because here you have to put, that's unnatural. When you bend your finger back that much, if without moving your hand, that's not natural. But if you can pop it right there, that's a very natural thing to do. So I like to see them there. Sometimes if they put them in the front, people don't like those. I don't have any problem with that, because I would never put my finger inside the trigger guard unless I was preparing to shoot anyway, so it didn't matter. Not to me. I mean, to other people, they feel, some people put them up here, some people inside, some people you got to push forward, then pull back. That's frowned upon by many people. I don't have a problem with it. I actually think that works, but I think the best spot is right there, for me personally. And so, obviously, it's a great walnut stock. Let's check this out. Look at that. Isn't that something? I'm thinking that it is. I also am very fond of that. Look, it's got a nice rounded shape kind of on the front. It starts out smaller and gets larger. I think, and it really, by doing that, when you hold on to it, it gives you that extra friction that you might need, for it not to slip. Just a thought. Okay, it says Remington Arms Company Incorporated. It's a friendly little town in New York that I don't know how to pronounce. It's ILION, New York, made in USA. Has 3 patent numbers. I think that's just about it. It says Model 12, the serial number. These couldn't get quite as much. I'm a little surprised that by 1909, they weren't putting a few more in here, but this doesn't hold as many as the 1890. It's a few shy, maybe 4 or 5, something like that. And let me see, I guess that's really about it. Let's go outside and have some fun. Okay, so we're getting that all taken care of. These guys do not want to stay in. Why am I surprised? Okay, I'm going to run down, put this down there, we'll load her up, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so let's have some fun. Let's get the festivities going. We're going to be shooting long rifle. I think it said something about 11 from what I read. It's like we put spent shell in there. That's definitely it. Okay. Safety's on. We will chamber the first one as soon as we get down, shoot something for a while, and helps put the safety on, and now I leave it on. Oh, it didn't chamber one. And that one fell out. Okay, so I think we had, what was it, one dud, and then this one was right after that dud came out. So let's go down, one down, and get what we have here, and okay, so let's see what we got. We got 5 in the bullseye. And then we got these 3 up here. So I think what I'd like to do is to run down and that's 8, 9, 10. Must have only had 10 in it. Okay, so I just wanted to see if I was holding in 2 different spots or what. Okay, I also would like to count these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's what it was. It had 10. I was thinking that it was, I read online that it held 11. Okay, so we're going to put on safety, chamber the first shot. It's a little funny if you, until you get used to it, because you have to put your finger right inside there. Okay, let's see if I can do a little better this time.
I don't know if you're noticing, but when I cycle out the empty, it's going right in the box most of the time, the trash box. I think we got one more. No, boy, more yet. Okay, let's go down and see what we got. Well, they're bouncing around a bit. Last time we were mostly in here, there, and right there. Now we're... So, I have a feeling some of that's me. I don't know. I'm not going to blame that all on the gun. This batch looks pretty good. Right in there. That one was the second time. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8 that were in the bullseye. This time it didn't work that way. Okay, so that's what it is for now. Let's go inside. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you about, and I also want to talk to you about, I looked up the date on that. So let's look up that too. I think if I had had a little bit more time to work with that, I could figure out what was going on there. I think in general, the sights here, of course, are very basic, especially this back sight. We could adjust the front sight a little bit to bring everything more in line. We'd have to bring it, obviously we're shooting a little bit to the right for the most part. I've actually almost exclusively. And if we adjusted our rear sight a little bit, we could probably finish it up and get really close. And then there's just a little tiny mark here right on the back sight where you check it out. I think there are other variants that I think would be more accurate. But having said that, this is a great gun by, of course, John Pedersen. I want to say Pedersen, everyone does, I think. And he was involved in a lot of different works. Oh, I told you I was going to look it up and see what year it is. Yes, 1927. So it was more or less in the middle, a little bit towards the latter than in the middle, but close. And so I think John Pedersen worked on so many guns. He had a lot more close calls than out of the ballpark. I think his Model 10 is underrated. A lot of people say it's too complicated and stuff. Complicated's okay if it works. Simplicity is fantastic, but what's really important is that it works well. And in the one opportunity that I've had to use that Model 10 up there, I was absolutely thrilled with it. And I do look forward to doing a lot more with that too. But the butterfly design where it exits the spent shells and things, it's a complicated design, but if it's not acting up, I don't really think that is a major issue. John Browning and Pedersen, I believe, only worked together that I know of on one gun, and indirectly that was the Ithaca Model 37. So it probably the most popular gun of all time, I'm going to guess, shotgun anyway. So in any case, until tomorrow,
I want to sign off, but looking forward to seeing you again and talking and kind of running where we go with this series. And so far, I'm having a great time. I hope you are enjoying it as well. Thank you so much. So until tomorrow,